Hi, my name is Shane, and in this video we're going to talk about why you need a website for your house cleaning business and how you can get one fast and cheap. Now, when I say website, probably the number one thing that pops into people's minds about a reason why you would want a website is because that way people can use search engines to find you, so things like Bing or Google. And actually, I would say that that is the least significant reason for using a website, and I'm going to get into all of the reasons that are better than that than before. But one serious drawback to relying on search engines for your business website is that there is a lag. So when you first get your website up and you try registering with like Google or whatever, there's a little bit of a process there. I mean, they send you a code in the mail to prove that you are where you say you are, and you send it back, and there's a lag there. It takes some time between when you actually go through all of the hoops to register and when they're I'm not a techie, but between when the searches can actually see your website. So don't do a website for that. Now, however, once you've got your business up and running and a few months have gone by, there are ways that you can use to kind of maximize your search results. There are a lot of other people who are a lot better at explaining how all of that works. So if you're interested in that, you can go check out other videos or read articles online and whatnot. But yeah, the information is out there. But I would just say that don't necessarily rely on those, but as they come in the future, I just kind of look at those type of contacts as like gravy. So why do you want to get a website? Well, the first reason is you're going to put the address on all of your printed materials. Now, while professionally printed materials goes a long ways towards giving a good impression, one drawback to printed materials is if you've ordered 2,000 of something and then you wake up in the middle of the night with a new idea or something that you wanted to change, or you think that you said something wrong, you can't change it. You're stuck with those 2,000 until you've given all of them out, and then you go back for another printing run. Now with a website, that is not the case. You can, of course, test different things as much as you want. You can make as many changes as you want, and you can start out really simple and then grow gradually over time. It's not something that has to be sort of a finished product on day one. You can start very simply with a website and then just kind of grow from there. Now, one of the big reasons why you would want to use a website is the impression that gives you. There's a lot of people that start house cleaning businesses. It's a very easy business in some ways to get started. So because of that, there's kind of a lot of other advertising that you're competing with. That's just sort of very basic. You look on like Craigslist at people's ads or whatever there, and it's just text and a phone number. But if you've got a website, what that says is I'm different than the crowd. I'm serious about this business and I'm here to stay. Even though it's 2014, people still have this idea that a website is an expensive thing, it's a big investment, it's a hard thing to accomplish. So if you've got one, you must be for real, there must be something about you and your business. So use that to your advantage. Number one, a lot of your competitors, other than say, of course, the franchise companies, but a lot of your local competitors are not going to do it. They're going to be scared away because, again, they kind of buy into that old thought process of it being expensive to do a website. So it's going to help you differentiate yourself from your competition, and it's going to help you give a good impression to your potential customers. Now, I started my first cleaning business in 2002, and I got to tell you, the first website that I ever had, that was a lot of expense and drama to get that thing up. It took 3 different people, programmers, whatever, to finally find somebody who would deliver. Cost a lot of money. At the time, I was very happy with the result, but I think about what that looked like compared to what you can get up quickly and easily for today, and it's kind of laughable just how bad that website actually looked. So yeah, you can use these things to your advantage. Now, I kind of mentioned cost. That's another reason why you should go ahead and do a website. Today, there are a lot of options that weren't available, even 5 or 10 years, even 5 years ago. There are companies out there. I see the ads all the time for. I can only think of one name right now, but 1&1 My Website, or I'm sure you've seen the ads. There are ads, there are companies out there who will do a very simple, very basic website for really cheap, like a lot of them advertise like $100 or whatever, and it doesn't surprise me. If you're just looking for one page of something, you can probably pull it off that cheap. The most important thing, by the way, is the web address. You want to own your own web address, and that way you can put that on all of your printed materials, and then no matter what your website ends up looking like down the road, you've got that consistency there. Now, what I've used, I told you my experience with one of my first websites, but what I've used most recently is blogging software. So you can use a blogging service and basically turn that into a small business website. So mine has several pages on it, but you can start out really simple and just make it be a one page. There's templates that you can use. It's really not that hard anymore. You know, if you can Facebook, you can probably in a weekend sit down and churn something out. Again, make sure you invest in owning the URL, owning the web address, but it's very inexpensive, like $10 or $15 I think a year to own your own. So it's really cheap. With the blogging angle that I'm talking about, there are forums that you can go to and search for help. But again, if you just try to keep everything really basic, just use the basic templates, it's not that hard really to come up with. You're just putting in your own texts, maybe a couple of pictures, and you're good to go. By the way, the service that I used for mine is WordPress, so you could look into that. I know people who use Blogger to make simple business websites as well. So either way with that. Now, the biggest reason, I've given you some reasons, like you want to stand out from your competition or whatever, but ultimately I think that the strongest reason that you should consider for having a website is that a cleaning business that has a website is going to attract a different kind of customer than one that doesn't. So if you've been having frustrations with getting paid, if you've been having frustrations with people who are just overly demanding, overly needy, I really think you should try this. You're going to attract a customer who is probably willing to pay more. And I will probably talk about this in more detail in a future video, but if you're going to be cleaning all day anyways, why not, you know, when you're doing a certain task, why not get paid more for that same task? We all know that there's a big difference in how much people charge when they're a self-employed cleaner. You know, some people are charging $12 or $15 an hour, and some are charging what works out to be $30 or $40 an hour, and really the tasks are about the same. I mean, how many different ways, you know, can you vacuum a floor? But having a website helps you to be able to be more confident in your business, be able to be more confident in charging more. Now, when I say that you can attract a different type of customer and that you can charge a little bit more, you might be thinking, well, look, I'm kind of in this somewhat part-time. I really only need a few customers. I'm never going to grow to have employees. Why do I really need a website? Well, I'll tell you why. Again, if you're going to be doing the same tasks however many hours a week, you might as well maximize the amount of money that you can earn from doing that. So by having better customers, you can do that. Now, small differences can make a big difference over time. So, for example, if you're saying to yourself, well, I don't want to put $100 or $200 into having a website, or paying somebody to do a simple website for me. I don't want to take a weekend and try to make one myself because that just seems like a lot of work. Well, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about if you had a house that you were cleaning and you were getting $60 for that cleaning, and let's say that if you had another potential customer and they were willing to pay you $80 for about the same amount of work, well, that's a difference of $20. So let's say that, you know, those cleanings are weekly. Well, a $20 difference on a weekly customer is $1,000 a year. So again, these little differences can really add up. So the type of customer that you're going to attract with a website is going to put more money in your pocket. And it's going to make your marketing easier. So hopefully I've given you some things to think about. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. And thanks for watching and good luck.